Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Russell Talks Chaos, or whatever I'm calling this, Capitalist. I'm here with my friend Jermaine. Jermaine, do you want to tell people who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Russell. So currently, I'm spending all my time building an app called Heirlight. It's to help people get started with their estate plan. But prior to this, I've been a founder many times over. What is funding my life is a freight forwarding company. So I do
Yeah.
container shipping from Asia to here. That's kind of the money maker right now. Hopefully, I'll get to spend more time building Heirlight because that's the passion project.
Yeah. And you were telling me that something really interesting. You were talking about how when you designed Airlight, it made you think more or like delve deeper into like the meaning of life and stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about Airlight, but also kind of like your journey here? Because I think it was a really interesting, deep conversation. What convinced me I had to talk to you.
I got an insight from a lunch with my mom. So my mom, unfortunately, she passed away 6 months ago. So it's actually 6 months and a week now. And when I had lunch with her about a year ago in here in LA, she told me this thing where it made me realize that she was nervous about retiring because she didn't know how much money she had. It was just like a lack of clarity as to what her 401k added up to, what her everything. And in my head, she definitely made the last dollar she had to make. She was 61 at the time. So at 61, she was basically working just because of insecurities. She was just working. And and so I built this chatbot that talked to my mom, and this chatbot asks her questions about, what were your hobbies when you were 18? What did you like to do before you had kids? And all these things about her life that I never really talked to her about. And about 4 months in, collecting all this info from her, and her English is her third language. So she felt more comfortable talking to my chatbot in Mandarin, anyways. But because of AI, I got to understand in more context everything that she was talking about. So, yeah, about 4 months in, I realized if I had her assets and her things that she cared about and the people that she cared about, I can actually organize this legal document for her. That's how Airlight was born and became a estate planning tool.
Yeah, I really because both my stepmother and father died years ago, and they never did any, even though I tried really hard when my dad had cancer to talk about, like, things that happened in their childhood and, like, to have him tell stories about stuff. Like, I even sent him, like, a recorder to record some things on, and my sister got my stepmother, like, a book that, like, you write down all of your stuff in, and, like, neither of them did anything. So, like, literally, like, everything, because my grandmother's dead, my father's dead, most of the people on that side of the I'm gonna die real, like, young, because everyone on that side of the family has just, like, dies really early, and, but, like, I have no idea what happened to my family. Like, I have no idea what happened to from except for the stories that I remember from my childhood, because my dad moved away when I was like 12. I have like nothing of them. And
Yeah, this is something that I think about so often because my grandma has dementia now and she's 92. And I actually recorded her in 2017. I just turned on the camera and started asking her these questions. And to my surprise, she shared a lot of details, a lot of drama that I will probably never share this to my family.
right.
Um, but it shaped how I saw where my father came from, understanding the context of her worldview.
Mhm.
And, she was born at a time, she was a teen when the Japanese invaded Malaysia, where my family's from. So her view of the world was shaped by this invasion. And her sister was like taken to be married early so she doesn't have to work as a prostitute, essentially. And her, that fear that's so ingrained in her mind shaped how she raised my parents,
Mhm.
my dad and his siblings, which is giving me a lot more empathy for how my dad sees the world as well.
And isn't that what it's about? I mean, like, I feel like the minute that you learn about someone's past, you suddenly empathize with them because you're like, "Oh, you're a terrible person." And you're just like, actually, like, I mean, I'm not denying that. I might be a terrible person, but, like, also, these are the things that shaped all that. I remember, you know, I was to go back to my father, like, I was pretty anti my father for a long time, and then I was like, "Oh, well, like, my mother one day told you she wasn't in love with you anymore, and, like, you had to, like, rebuild your life and, like, leave this whole thing," and you're like, "Oh, well, 12-year-old me never would have been able to see that, but 30-year-old me certainly has a whole lot more context for, like, also who's probably autistic and like these are all things that you learn in time and as like but you can't it's really hard to go back and it's really hard to go back and like recalibrate your whole existence with someone because of new data.
It is hard, and I think with death, it makes us think a lot about like now I look at my father who's 62, and I'm like, he's not gonna be here forever. And I think a lot about like the kind of things I want to do with him. And the ones that maybe I missed out on because I was so busy trying to build a business and all that stuff. But it's not always so easy, right? Because he also comes with a whole set of assumptions about the world of what he can't stop being a father to me,
Right.
right? He's still like, hey, go do this, focus, and all that. And like, why are you taking so many trips with me?
Right.
I'm trying to convince him to go to Japan with me this summer. And yeah, it's gonna happen, but I had to force my hand a little bit.
Right. Yeah, see, like, I think this is your app, personally. I know we talked about this, but, like, these conversations are really where, like like, the value in this app is not to get, like, a will or anything, but, like, a will is a document, and, like, these are memories that we're talking about, and what I think is brilliant about Airlight is that you basically are taking these memories and using them to construct a document that is really hard to contextualize and also really hard to do. Like, why did my father not want to record things? Well, like, he didn't want to confront the fact that he was dying. Or this is the last thing that he was probably going to have to say. Like, same thing with my stepmother. Like, these are people who, like, one, thought they'd be around forever. And by the time they realized they weren't, it was too late. And like that you can then have these pretty esoteric conversations and come down with like also you have all these memories now that like I have categorized for you and also you have a bunch of documents that no one wants to make done for you like here. I think that's pretty powerful.
That's been an internal struggle that we have in terms of, how we push our users to create the legal document versus how we push our users to just chat. Initially I thought, okay, I'm going to build an inventory of life app. I want to
Mhm.
help you just gather all this clutter in your head and in your life, just kind of organize it somehow and maybe visualize it for you. And what I realized is like I studied all the apps that failed and it was just difficult to go to market like that.
Right.
I think it was not a tangible thing. I mean, it's hard enough to get someone to do something legal that is important.
Mhm.
Can you imagine trying to sell someone to do something that is important is debatable. Like it's very helpful to have clarity and stories and all these things. But just to say like, hey, put aside some time and just talk to this app all day. Yeah, we're really struggle because I want to promise an app that's like storytelling, capturing
Sure.
memories, bucket lists. Yeah, but then there's like this real reality out there that there's this inaction. People just don't want to do things like that.
Sure. Well, I mean, That is certainly what a sales team would say. Like, a sales team that is built on pain point selling, which is, like, the easiest and, most annoying kind of selling. But, like, I don't know. Like, I spent my life writing fiction books and, like, making a lot of money, not, like, freight forwarding money, but, like, decent money, I made over $1,000,000 on my weird books and shit over the years, and so, like, I teach soul resonance selling, and so like, obviously, to me, is like I mean, the soul resonance part is, like, sit down and do this part. Like, you can like, I don't know. I understand the impulse to be like, "This is a concrete thing at the end of the day." But, like, Facebook's not a concrete thing, and, like, people use it all day well, I guess they don't use it all day anymore, but, like, TikTok or whatever that thing is, so some of the most valuable companies in the world, they're just like their whole thing is like like, their whole mode of being invalidates the point you just made, right? Like, TikTok doesn't
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah. I think kind of to your point, that's why I've been on this podcast and Substack journey, which is
Mhm.
I want to be the person who's asking these questions, right? I want to
Right.
remind people that don't live on autopilot because there's so much about life that's going to pass us by. You know, there's so many things that I want to do when I was younger that I just wouldn't do now. And then on the other side, because of who I am talking about these topics, I also want to offer a tool, which is Airlight.
Sure.
And
Sure,
so
sure,
that's the
sure.
way I'm looking at it, and I don't know if it's working, you know? We still like, I just talked to a funeral home this morning. You know, I
Mhm.
wanna have the funeral home put some information out there about they do anyways, like education about trust and wills and things
Sure.
like that, but I wanna just offer them another place, another tool that maybe
Mhm.
someone sitting there attending a funeral can start thinking about this themselves on the app. So there's certainly like this more thought leadership kind of things, and then there's also like all the technical things that we're trying to do. Um, yeah, so it's I guess it's a balance of both for me.
I mean, I'm not saying there doesn't have to be money, like, money I mean, we're in a capitalist society. I've run a site called Hapitalist, so, like, I acknowledge that, that there is happiness there can be happiness in capitalism, but, like, capitalism requires money to exist, so but I don't know, man, I mean, we've now talked this is the second time we've talked. And, like, I'm not convinced that you are convinced that, like, this is the thing you want your app to do.
Yeah, I mean, I can basically tell you what the app is doing right now. So when
Sure.
you come in, we we learn about who you are as quick as we can. So if you have
Sure.
kids and things like that, and then we push you through this process of giving us the basics of the will, right? And
Sure.
then once that's done, it shifts into a very different kind of character. It's not as rigid after you do it
Uh-huh. Sure.
because the idea is like I think if I'm promising my users or folks who, you know, come and use this app that I'm going to help you tackle this one important task
Sure.
first. And then but the bigger goal here is like as you're tackling this task of putting your estate plan together, you you start reminding yourself of all these things. Like you randomly will remember that you have things that you want to keep and share. And
Right.
you know, we have some physicians come in and create a healthcare directive, which is the
Sure.
document that tells the government authorities what to do about your body if you're in a
Mhm.
coma but can't make decision about your body. So a physician come in, and a physician ended up emailing me because we gave them so many options and ideas about how they want their body to be, that they started going back and talking to their customers or clients, I guess, as a physician about things. And so my idea is like to help people think more clearly about some of these things that feels like legal jargon, but we can do it
Sure.
in like plain English.
I mean, I love that part. I love that part. It I think the hard part, though, is no one wants to think about the will part, right? Like, no one like, the will is a necessary byproduct of remembering your life and like leading and like coming to the end of you of like existence and what that means. And then like you have a document that you've got to make out of it. And I mean, my wife and I don't have a will. like, like I don't want to go through all that stuff. And like I know, like I like very close to lots of like death practices. I've thought about becoming a death doula more than once. And even then I'm like, I don't wanna deal with the technical bullshit of like making a will or like putting it in. Like, can't I just say like this all goes to Karen on like a napkin and like sign it? No, you can't do that. So it's I have as a storyteller, I have a lot of empathy for the storytelling part of it, which is maybe that's what I'm why I'm focused on, and a little bit less interest in the will side of things, even though I know that's the like stated end goal purpose of, well, like I guess the stated end goal purpose of a bureaucracy is to catalog your death just like it cataloged your life, which is like by having these snapshots of it, census and tax returns and these will and trust and all these things.
Yeah, some days when we get too many days in a row where we don't have a new user, it gets it's like the founder thing, right? You gotta keep your head up and keep going. And I always try to remind myself that I've gone a lot out of this app, even though it's pretty new.
Yeah.
Like, I look back at this transcripts of my mom talking to this app, at least the early version of it. I think I'm just super grateful that I've learned so much about her.
Mhm.
I've obviously I didn't know she was gonna die suddenly,
Right.
but I knew it was coming at some point. I just didn't
Right.
think it was gonna be like 3 months into building the app.
Right.
And like for me, that fulfillment of getting to know her through kind of her diary, like a voice of her diary,
Mhm.
um, I just wish more people understood like how that can feel. It's
Ho
like,
looks I mean, you we're literally live now. How can it feel?
yeah, I mean, it is gratitude at this point. It is gratitude. Um, I always think like I'm super grateful that my girlfriend got to know my mom before she
Mhm.
passed because now I get to talk to someone about this human that was like the most important person in my life, right?
Mhm.
And I think like with this app, I would say the storytelling that we're trying to go out with is constantly for me is the struggle of like I want to tell the story of me, but then the tool needs to be sold. So
Mhm.
it's exactly what you're saying. It's like you're focused on the story side of it, which is what I'm trying to do as much of and try to get better at. Um, yeah, so I guess we can turn this into a consulting session for me.
Sure. Sure. I mean, whatever you
Wh-
wanna do, man, like, I'm
yeah,
just here
what do
shuffling
you
my tarot cards, so
what do you think? Do you think I because right now you go to my website, it's all product. Here's
sure.
who we are, what we do, how it's done,
You
legal
mean the
disclaimers.
Heirlight product, right?
Yeah, it's the Airlight product. I pretty much don't talk about the origin story of it. And, as a founder, I'm I don't know how much narcissism that is if I just keep talking about my story all day. I've been doing some podcasts and I'm like, I'm kind of sick of hearing my own voice and telling the same stories over and over again.
Sure.
What do you
Well,
think? Yeah, what's your I mean, you don't know all the details and everything, so, I'll
alright.
what is your assessment from just like kind of afar?
Sure. So, I when I consult with so I'm gonna take it as, like, I'm consulting with the tech company, okay? And, like, I'm looking at your messaging, and so, let's see, can I do that? I know they had, just let screen sharing be a thing here, so I'm just gonna go to your site.
Let's do it.
Mm, alright, screen sharing is on. How do I Okay, Chrome tab, window. Nope, this one. All right. So I'm looking at your site now, right? Um, Here's my first question. Does anyone that's 27 minutes is a long time. So to make a will, like to make anything in text. So like what is the transformation that someone actually wants? And this is the most important part I think that anyone can have about anything is what is the actual trend like your product, your service, your book, anything is has nothing to do with you, but you have to act as the conduit for the transformation you're trying to bring into the world. So you might think, oh, well, my goal, my transformation is to make a will in 27 minutes. But like at the end of that transformation, you have a will. That's like not a very powerful transformation, right? I mean, we could all agree with that.
Yeah, so the reason why we did it this way, we focus on speed and a specific number, is because the other options out there are very generic in the
Sure,
sense of like everyone's promising peace of mind, number one,
sure.
protecting your legacy. So I thought, okay, let's go the opposite direction. Let's go very specific into like a task being done. That's the idea.
Sure. But like this is what every tech company says when I consult with them because like I would say something fall back in love with your life again or fall back in love with your fall in love with your parents' life in 27 maybe not that but like what is the actual because like we've talked now for roughly an hour or so across 2 calls, and, like, you never talk about making a will or the fact that it's quick, but and yet, the minute that I come to this Heirlight site, the first thing that I'm confronted with is, uh, "Make your will in 27 minutes," and so, I would throw this back on you, given as you know that Happiness is about optimizing for joy, and I believe that joy comes from, f ha from activities that have a positive feedback loop, and the most positive feedback loop thing is the one that you have the most joy in, like, what do you think the actual transformation that someone has is? Does that is making a California will the thing that you get from this app? Because it sure as fuck doesn't think so. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think the short term answer is this like I got it done. Like this thing that I know I gotta do, I got it done, that
Sure,
feeling that it's checked off the list. But I
sure,
think the longer thing is probably somewhere along the lines of like I feel that I took care of something that makes me feel like a responsible adult.
sure.
Right. Then the long term would be the clarity, would be like I feel more grounded because I did this.
Yes,
I, kind of journaled. I wrote down everything that I have. So that feeling of groundedness.
sure, sure. Okay. Well, this is my second question. Um, you act as your customer. Based on what you see on this page right now, would you buy this product? You don't get anything below this fold. Like, do you have enough information to buy this product?
I think if the customer came through a very narrow flow of I need a will and I'm looking for a tool,
Sure.
that's what this page is targeted for.
I know. I'm aware of like I know the answer to all of these questions because I've been on a lot of calls with a lot of tech companies and the ones who the problem is you're mission driven and this is pain point driven. And so the people that actually take advantage of this thing, so the people that left that like your main growth lever is podcasts, right? And like doing all these and talking about your story and like telling them about like you can make a will like without having to deal with any just by telling stories. And like, okay, so like make your will with telling like tell your story, make your will. Like, I don't know. Like these are the things that you have said multiple times in our calls together, which tells me that they're also the things that resonate when you're talking with other people. And the fact that I don't see it here means that the minute that you tell me a very soulful story and then I go to your site, the first thing I see is, oh, I don't want that. I don't want this thing. Like, I wanted the thing that you talked about, Jermaine. Like, what's the thing that you talked about? Like, where's the story? Where's like the love? Where's the remembrance? Where's all of that like gushy stuff? Because what I see is state specific, but there's only one state. Bank level encryption, okay, I don't care about this at all. Unlimited updates, great. I hope I never have to update it. Why would I even want to update it one time, let alone 10 times? Like free lawyer referral, like confuses me because I'm like, I thought you were making my will. Now I need a lawyer referral. See what I'm getting here?
Yeah. Do you think the narrative driven and the product driven can coexist?
I mean, so I have a client plot drive and we changed their messaging from I sat down with them and their messaging used to be like write 10 times faster. And I said, your clients are writers. Do you really think that they want to write 10 times faster? Or do you think they want to? And then we came up with like stay in flow, get in flow faster or stay in flow longer. And I was like, for a writer, for like you, someone who is not maybe a writer, like I don't know how much writing you do, but like there's a lot of people who are like, I don't actually want to write. I just want it to be done. And it's like, great, do the thing you hate 10 times faster. Great, great, amazing. But like the client that you have stated that you wanted will resonate with the thing that you are talking about and you are not conveying your ideal customer, which is not someone who wants to make a California will in 27 minutes, but someone who wants to deepen their understanding of their parents or like remember their past or I don't like whatever that thing is like usually takes more than 27 minutes and to like go through this with people. But like the things that you're saying are your ideal client are not the things that are on this page. And that is what I question. So yes, I think that not only do I think that product and like story go hand in hand, I think that the product means nothing. Like the story means everything because like the story is how you tell them somebody that they are that you are the right conduit for their transformation, which is what I've been trying to get to this whole time. Like this is and the thing that you are saying is like very soulful and the thing that is on this page is very productful. And it doesn't matter to me if you want to be very productful or soulful, but it does matter to you. And I can tell because the times that you light up talking about your parents and your mother are the times that you're never like, I wanted to get California Wills down to 27 minutes because it's usually an hour and 27 minutes. Like that does not seem to be the thing you care about. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. I think where I'm stuck a little bit is my I think I don't have a clear picture of my ICP of like
Sure.
who I'm talking to basically. So I'm going out mostly talking to folks who are in a period of transformation in their lives.
Sure.
Change, whether it's homes or career or death of a parent or anything. And I'm trying to meet them in a time where they're kind of reconsidering life.
Sure.
And even with that, this product page still wouldn't land. So you're right. I think I'm gonna test out a few landing pages.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we did. That's what we generally
Yeah.
do. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, test 4 against each other. But as we have talked about before, like, it's not working now. So I don't know. Like, if you were making $1 million a day, I'd be like, great, dude. Like, you clearly nailed it. But since you're not doing that, and you said earlier in this call, there are some days you don't even get one new person. I would say that at least if you're going to struggle and get nobody through the door, do it with your whole throat. Like, do it with your whole chest. Like, just do the like, you're already not getting the results you want, so the only thing you could do is still not get the results you want and, like, try different messaging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, with this landing page, the app, I've never built an app before. So this is my
Sure,
first after a bunch of, other businesses.
sure,
And I just realized most of our new users comes from referral. It's just word of mouth. So
sure.
we haven't obviously cracked the code on this ad funnel to landing page to download. Um,
So
but
y
the referral, the reason why people come to referral has just been, oh, it's easy.
sure.
So then I
Well,
kind of
hang
keep.
on, hang on. It's not that it's easy. It's easy because you can just tell stories. Like, that's why it's easy. It's easy because it's natural language, right?
Actually, so right now the app, when you go in, you don't get to the natural language part until you answer almost all the questions about the will.
Sure.
So
Wait, that
maybe
takes 25 minutes to get to the
it's
natural
probably
language
less.
part?
No, it's probably like 5 minutes.
Okay, well, that's 22 minutes of doing this. The majority of people are doing this, like, natural language. Like, you're spending most of your time doing the natural language part, though, right? Out of that 27 minutes?
I think most people. No, we some of our users just go through the whole thing, get the documents done, and then that's it. They don't really use it anymore. So it is a tool for them. We don't have a lot of people who are talking a lot because
Okay.
we've essentially structured it so much. Um, I
But
mean,
isn't
this
that
is
the goal? Isn't the goal for them to talk a lot? Like, isn't that the thing you want? Isn't that the action you want them to take?
I think this comes down to a little bit of a UI UX thing because so on our end, one side of it is like we want to make sure we're not giving legal advice, we're not doing legal
Sure.
interpretation, the law stuff. And on the other side, we want to have as many conversations as with you as possible. So yeah, it's just kind of like where do we draw the line of this conversation? Because
Yes.
if you tell us a story and we have to make an interpretation to save that story. So then we try to get the legal things out of the way. So anyways, it's like a design thing that we tried a version of it that's very loose, and then we pulled it back and made it very rigid, and now we're somewhere in between right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like it seems like you're in between. But I will say that, like, the thing that you said for the first 25 minutes of this talk is not this site. And my goal is not to, like, tell you to change your site. I have no opinion. I just want you to be happy and get the result that you want. But the thing that I would say is if the thing you care about is the thing you cared about before, then the thing you care about is the story part more than the making will part. The
Mhm.
people that are coming in through referrals aren't actually your ideal client avatar. They may pay you the most. You may make the most from them, but, like, don't you have a freight forwarding company for that?
Yeah, I guess that's where the conversation we had before about the price, that's where I was stuck on. So, I guess context for anyone who's just listening to us is, Russell asked me, "Why 179?"
Oh, yeah, there's a
and I didn't
price.
really have a good answer for it.
There's a price down
The
here.
truth, yeah, the
Go
truth
ahead.
is my legal bills, probably.
Right,
You know, all the retainers I signed with attorneys to review our legal stuff. That's probably where the money's all going to go to.
right. But, like, here's the thing is, like, that means that the thing that you love can be free. Like,
The
you
talking.
love the story part. Like, and
Mhm.
that doesn't need like, how much lawyer fee do you need for a person to tell stories to themselves?
Yeah, I mean, then my debate is like, is this one app or is it two app? Is it like two
Sure.
separate tools, right? Because
Oh,
I can
yeah.
probably just deploy this chatbot that I did for my mom to capture her memories and stories and things like that, and just have the will be a completely separate process.
Sure. Or you could just say Airlight is about connecting with your heirs, lightening your shoulders and connecting with your heirs. And one of those things is you can make a will. If you want to make a will, you can make a will. But, like, part of that is telling stories, and then, like, you can also compile those stories maybe with an AI, like, to be like, "Here's this rambling story you told in a way that is comprehensible to humans, and, like, would you like to share this with somebody?" Because, like, then people are sharing their own stories with, like, their friends and family, and now you're getting, like, an actual referrals to people who want to tell stories to their heirs in a way that, like, makes like, why wouldn't you share that story on your social media if you're not ashamed of it?
Hmm. Yeah, that
And then
is.
oh, sorry. Go for it.
No, no, no. I go for it.
I was just gonna say, and then you can say, "Hey, you just finished this story. There's a couple of questions that, like, we'd like to have of, like, that could help make your will. You don't have to finish the whole process now, but, like, here's, like, 4 questions that you may wanna think about with your will." And so the end goal is still, like, making the will, but, like, you're just, like and you're still asking all of the same questions. It's just, like, the order of operations change until, like, the ritual that they do is every day they answer one question over the course of like 4 weeks, and over that 4-week time, you are slowly gathering things to be like, "Hey, you did 10 you've told us 10 stories, you've answered 40 questions, and now guess what? You can have a will." And also you love Airlight because, like, you're like, there's access, your niece and nephew have access to it, and your brother has access to, like, all of these stories as well, and they can help you, like, answer all of these questions if you have problems. And now it's like a group problem. You probably can't say how much money they probably don't want to say, "Hey, how much money?" But one of the big problems with wills is, like, I don't actually have all the answers. So, like, I need to fucking get my mother involved, or my, like, sister involved, and, like, I don't wanna call them to be like, can I ask you some really tough questions about a will?" But I might if I was able to answer a question and then say, "Oh, I need to phone a friend. Can I just share this question with my can I loop my my sister in on these 2 questions and just have her help me answer them?" And now, like, you can then talk to the sister and be like, "Hey, your brother answered these 4 questions, like, you answered these 2 questions. Are they the same for you? Do you wanna set up an account that you can, like, share this stuff?" And now you're, like, sharing life stories and remembering stuff, like, have people reading and be like, my sister can be like, "That didn't actually happen. Like, who are you? You're crazy? That didn't happen. This happened." And, like, that becomes, like, the basis for the ritual of what
Mhm.
Airlight is, and then you just, like, sneaky Pete all of the stuff in. But, then again, the entire stated purpose of Happiness is, why can't it be fun, though? So, like, I grant you, I I'm coming from the to this from a perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it reminded me of, I spoke to this guy who, when we started, he's like an expert at asking questions. He wrote many books about it. It's called A Book of Questions by
Oh,
Gregory Stock. In the beginning, we had all these questions about, oh, how should we structure these questions for our users to get them to start sharing and things like that. And at some point, we realized we were going so far that we weren't creating anything except for, I guess, burning electricity on AI credits and things like that. So so then we pulled it all back and said, all right, we're going to design a process that makes it rigid just to get it done. So
cool.
now with this conversation, I'm thinking maybe the line should be further towards the question and answering, the conversational start again. Um, but yeah, I think you're right on one thing, which is I'm kind of, because I have the luxury of having another business, I'm kind of just like chugging along here.
Right.
I don't think I'm being super intentional about like just picking one direction. I think because I don't have to, and I think that's really bad for business as well.
Yeah, I think it's more like you clearly want one business. You want this app to be one thing, but like your business mind is like, I can't make the app the thing that I want it to be because like businesses make money and like money businesses look like this, not like make your heart and soul like like um bring your heirs into the conversation. Like let's make heirs together. Like there's I can tell that you, while it may not be having fun, you find meaning, happiness, and psychological richness in the things that you were talking about. My fear, right? My fear, but like the thing that I would caution you on is like you already have a bunch of businesses that you've tried and that have been successful doing the business thing. And like you could just like there's almost no so what I see you doing is that there's almost no risk to you doing whatever you want with this app. Well, aside from the legal risk. But you are constraining yourself from taking the actual risks you want to take because your brain is like, but businesses do business things. USC taught me business things in this thing. And like you have the ability to make asymmetrical gain with this app. That is so it can be so different. The thing that you're saying is like, what if making your will could like could be done with stories and like with love and with care and like with community. And you're like, well, that's not the way that a will works. Like a will is a thing you do with a lawyer. It's boring. It's like nobody's there. And like if this was your only business that had to work and you had to make it optimized, I would say, well, okay, dude, 27 minutes is way too long to put on here. 5 minutes or less would have to be the thing. Make a will in 5 minutes because like half an hour, dude, I could go into a lawyer's office and do it in an hour. So like, what are you saving me? 33 minutes? And I gotta do an and then I gotta go talk to a lawyer anyway. But like there is no asymmetric gain without asymmetric risk. And you are currently playing the playbook that every other one of these things has done. And you are going to lose that game because they already are winning that game. But if you slightly change the axis to the things we talked about in the first half of this, somehow, like, then you are operating on a different axis. And then if that axis doesn't work, you just can change the axis slightly and be like, oh, we went way too hard on the fun this time. But like there was something here, but like without just getting kind of crazy with it and testing a bunch of stuff and seeing if it works, you're just gonna keep wondering, what is the there, or is there a there? Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, yeah, I think it makes sense. Okay. I don't know if two of my team members are watching this, but sounds like we're gonna try something different.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm happy to do consulting for anyone listening or you on, like, this is what, like, Capitalist is about, like, taking well mitigated risks, but doing something crazy, and me enabling you. Mainly, I am an enabler of, like, your crazy ideas, but, like, not because you not because, if this again, if this was your company and you'd raised $5 million for it and it has to, like, fail, I'd be like, "I don't know, dude, like, we need to make some, like, small changes here," but, like, what I would love to see the next time that I saw this was what you talked about in the first half of this call to be on this page, and then just to see if, like, it got more people. I don't know if anyone listening, can make but, like, which of these 2 things, like, would get you more excited? Because
Mhm,
you seem to be wanting a creator economy type app that's gonna resonate with the people that are on Substack, and, like, doing a will in 27 minutes ain't the one, son, but, like, making something connection, community, like more fun, like a whole different way of, like, thinking about how to make a will, where, like, I don't have to, like, answer really depressing questions for 27 minutes, is something that probably that at least has a chance to give you that asymmetric gain that you've been looking for, and actually get people excited about, like, the thing you actually care about, which is not it's the other half of Airlight that you have been moving away from slowly but surely, it sounds like.
mhm. Yeah.
And on
Alright.
that yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
no, I
any
think
yes, go for
it's
it,
it's
sorry.
actually been on my mind to test, like, as we're doing kind of partnerships deal with, like, credit unions and funeral homes and stuff like that, I'm curious to see how I guess, like, for those channels, the tool of this will maker
Right,
is probably gonna work because they're
sure.
doing the selling, right?
Maybe.
So I guess I can so I guess I
Here's
could
oh,
yeah.
here's my question. Because, like, I mean, I don't work with many credit unions, but, if I were to talk to a credit union, I would say, "Hey, Jermaine, like, so you work with a lot of, like, different will and blah, blah, blah other companies. There's a lot of great will places out there, right? It's like, but still, most of your people don't have wills, right? Like, almost no one has a will. Like less than
Mhm.
half of people have a will, I assume. Like, probably like 10% of people have a will. Do you have that number by any chance, right?
Like 70% don't have of
Yeah.
Americans.
Okay, so 70% of Americans don't have a will. So, something's broken because, like, we've been talking about wills for 350,000 years. Like, it's like wills is like the one thing that you need, and still 70% of people don't have them. And the people and 30 and most of the people that do probably go into it kicking and screaming. Can we agree to that, Tremaine?
Mhm.
Okay, so here's the problem. Um, we are treating wills like a technical document and not like a storytelling apparatus. But that is what they are, Jermaine. Do you know what I mean? It's like they are storytelling apparatuses that say this goes like every time you say, I'm going to take this deck of cards and give it to this person, there's a story behind it, right, Jermaine?
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
like, what we're doing is taking out the actual part of the will that is important, which is not the secession plan, it's the initial reason why. And, like, what Airlight wants to do is take focus on this part. And our bet is not to replace any of your existing things, but like 5%, 10% of the people at your credit union will say, you know, what's been stopping me this whole time from doing a will is like it's so cold. Like, I wanna tell the story behind why I'm giving this deck of cards to Tracy, and I want Tracy to always be able to go back and read that story, Jermaine, and, like, I always want that. Even when I'm dead, even 10 years after I'm dead, I want her to look at this thing when she's forgotten, like, most of it and say and still be able to read that story. In fact, Jermaine, I would love it if she could do it in her voice, and then every time I click this little cardinal, I hear my stepmother's voice. And like, I don't give two shits what she said, but like a cardinal means something to me, Tremaine. And my bet is that if we at Airlight can take this deck of cards, and instead of just saying deck of cards to Jermaine, cup to Billy, uh, golem statue to this and say, "Hey, so like I want to give this golem statue to my wife or my sister because I remember when we were in Vienna and or no, sorry, it was Prague. See, I don't even remember my own damn story, and it happened less than a year ago. I remember we were in Prague. We're walking through this like little city, and we had just gone to the Jewish quarter and heard the whole Gollum story. And I saw this weird little dude in this shop. It just like it just like so perfectly matches my opinion of like what I think my sister is like, or whatever the thing, whatever that story is. Like, wills are not the thing you think they are. Wills are a whole different ass thing and like we have been thinking about wills and why only 30% of people get wills is because they're so impersonal. But wills are like the most personal thing that you can have, Jermaine, because they are about how we take bits of our identity and give them to other people and hope that they can carry little pieces of them around with them forever. And like, I want to be able to, when my daughter passes these on to her daughter, after I've been dead for 20 years, they can still hear that story. That is the bet I'm making. And that is why Airlight is worth it. Not because it's going to replace anything, because none of those things actually matter. Like, this is what matters.
Mhm. Thanks for the consulting session.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No worries. Sorry, I went kind of off the rails in that
No,
last
no,
bit,
this is
but like,
great. I'm trying to take notes, but I'm just gonna be present and, yeah, and you're right. Like, I know the first time we talked, I told you what Airlight was, and yeah, you saw through the first time what you also say today, which is like why I built this is kind of a different thing from what it is today, as
right.
it stands as a product. Um, okay, yeah, I've got a lot to think about, and I think I will send you an update on this one,
Wonderful.
and
I
really
love
soon.
it. I love it, man. I love it. Are there any final things you want to say about trying Airlight? Like, Airlight is really cool. This airlight.com website does not give it nearly enough justice for like that it's like a really nice thing. I think you should go and like try it and like you can do the draft. You can like get the draft for free. There's some sort of affiliate link I'll put somewhere, but like, I like the overall concept of what you're doing. That's why I spend so much time with you, and I grok what you're doing. It's just like I don't this presentation like is is like turns me away, and you turn well. I was going to say turn me on.
Yeah,
That's not, but
yeah,
like you make me
I
want to
got you.
turn towards you.
Yes,
All right,
and I
man.
really appreciate that. I think it's just my head's down all day doing this, and it's nice to hear it kind of from a completely different perspective outside of the optimization of all that. I'm literally going to go review Facebook ads right now. And now I'm thinking, all right, probably want to rethink even what I'm putting out there for Facebook ads because they are all product driven.
Yeah, well, I think that you should not do that. You should at least make a page that
Mhm.
does like just make another sales page and keep everything below the fold the same and just make a 2 to 3 minute video that talks about your story and why Airlight is different. And then put start with us for free and see if it does better. Because like I feel like that is you need to be you are the conduit for your people's transformation. And like that is I like you got something here, dude. You do. You do. The question is like, can you bubble it up and get people to connect with it fast enough?
I'm gonna share something very vulnerable.
Sure.
As you're talking, I realized that the reason why I haven't done that is because I think, when I started this project, I convinced 2 people to quit their jobs to come along for the ride.
Mhm.
And I think part of me don't wanna make this about me. I didn't wanna be like the diva who's putting myself on a homepage for
Sure.
3 minutes and talking about this. And for me to now go back and say, "Hey guys, we're gonna change it all up. We're gonna put my face or my story at the forefront of this entire product." Yeah, it feels a little bit of like, is it all about me?
Sure. That's
Yeah.
I will reframe this to say they didn't quit their jobs and follow you because like this was the best idea that's ever existed. They followed because of you. And so what I would do is call a huddle and say, "Hey, here's some things that I've been thinking about. And I don't want to make this about the me show, but it needs to be about the them show. And we need a conduit. And like that story, like you could just show stories or like, I don't know, maybe not your mother's story. That'd be probably a bridge too far, but like you can certainly be like, "Hey, I really resonated with this story that you wrote in this will. Can can I pay you to like put this story on our site? Or like, can I pay you to do a testimonial? Not about the will part. Like, I know the will part is great. Like the will part is legit because like I am legit. Like, who cares about the will part? Like talk about the story, like get go back and just see how people feel about the story bits and like see if you can pull those parts out because I think that even if all you do is have a will and like have little buttons that are like boop tell this story, boop tell this story, boop tell this story, that is like transformative comparatively to like what a will being a static document. And now it's like, oh well, obviously I'm going to keep this for $50 or $100 a year because like it has every great memory that my parents had. Like why would I not keep it forever? Why would I not pay $179 for a lifetime deal? Like those things are like the will may be why they think they come, but they come for this. They come for
Mhm.
this. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I think that you if you that's perfectly valid if you don't want to be the face, but I'm gonna give you a secret. You're fucking sitting across from me, man. You're the face. You're the face
Yeah.
right now.
And the truth is the team would just come along for the ride. Yeah, and you're
Right.
right, right. So,
But yes, like
yeah.
if you didn't want to be if the face stuff didn't work, you wouldn't be sitting across from me right now. Like
Mhm.
but you think there's something there that you know. And if you don't want to be the face, you need to find your customers to be the face. It doesn't have to be you. I'm just like, you could throw that website up along with like 5 other landing pages and run ads to it, spend $100 on each and see what converts best. Like, I don't know. Like that,
Yeah.
uh, the- that seems like if if you want to do like the wide range of stuff, you can make it the wide range, you know? You just but like you should test all of the options.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Tell people about
Thanks.
Airlight one last time so we can
Airlight is a simple will maker. We're currently only live in California, so if you're watching this, you want to try it out, just click California, but uh, don't export your will, and you can't until you pay.
yeah. Awesome. Amazing.
Cool.
Everyone, great. It was so great to talk with you. I'm glad we got a chance to connect again. and hopefully I'll see you in LA at some point soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.